So vitamin C's not paid off, has it?
I've switched to vitamin D.
Is that upwards? Surely if you're getting better, it's kind of, vitamin C didn't work out, go to vitamin B. You won't go to D. You might as well go to vitamin Z. It's a rather well Tom Shires.
And I am not Mike Ireland.
And this is the Shires and Ireland Agenda, and you know what it's about. It's movies and more. It's on the Shires and Ireland Network on YouTube. It's on More Music Variety, hwdhospitalradio.com.
I thought it was about an hour.
Yeah, 53 minutes, 57, all the minutes.
So then, this week we're going to be discussing 3 big stories from the world of film.
And here we go again. Mike Ireland will suddenly lose control. There's a fire within his soul, all caused by our quiz may contain spoilers.
And if you liked it last week, Movie Mashups, if you understood it last week, Movie Mashups is back.
Mrs. Shires got one, all by herself. All that and more stuff, now.
It was Elton John that wrote it along with Sir Tim Rice. Who was it that sang the vocal for that part?
I don't know who that is.
Okay.
It's that baboon, isn't it?
Rafiki.
Yeah.
Who I was under the impression was a male baboon. But I'm sure that for the forthcoming Lion King, directed by Jon Favreau, it's going to be a female baboon.
I think that has also been the tradition on stage and on Broadway.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, so the Lion King trailer dropped in the space of the last week, and it dropped heavily.
As to be expected for a cat of that size. I was taken with it. Visually, absolutely stunning, as these things always are from Disney. Grand scale, looks epic. We get a blast of the Circle of Life. I just wonder, it's going to be great, it's going to make a load of money, but what's the point other than making a load of money?
Yeah, I think that's mainly the point for Disney. I was going to say PLC, it's not a publicly listed company, or is it?
I don't think so. You can buy shares in it though, surely. But
okay, so maybe you can.
Yeah.
Is there a case, and I'm someone who really thinks that if you're going to make live action, or in this particular case, animated to look like live action...
Have they filmed savannas?
I don't know.
Have they actually gone to Africa, or have they created... Is nothing real?
Nothing is real.
Nothing is real, folks. None of it.
No, my point is, usually I think they should distance themselves from the
Lions.
original one to some extent. But for this trailer, because it was actually the opening sequence of Lion King that was released as the trailer for the original Lion King way back when, is there a bit of a justification for, we want to evoke the trailer that made such a huge impact first time round, so let's just do it?
Yeah, and the use of the James Earl Jones voiceover.
Do you think you can tell James Earl Jones is any older?
No, but I really do still hear Darth Vader, so I find the whole thing very, very disconcerting.
Not Bleeding Gums Murphy.
Oh no, he was...
This is CNN.
Yeah, but Bleeding Gums, he had the vision though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, was he the voice of Bleeding? No, he wasn't the voice of Bleeding.
I thought he was.
No, he wasn't. But there's the episode where is Bleeding Gums Murphy dying,
yes.
And that's when they then have the vision of the cloud, which includes Mufasa being up there. But I'm pretty sure he didn't voice the character.
Didn't he? So I got that. What was it a reference to then?
Well, it was Bleeding Gums Murphy, but that was a reference to the Lion King, wasn't
Or
it?
just a reference to the fact that he's seeing the spirits of ancestors.
Yeah, or is it Lisa?
Lion.
Is it Lisa trying to get in touch with the kind of musical gods?
Which include a lion, a formerly bowl-cutted super rat, and the voice of CNN. Okay, so Lion King coming out made 224.6 million views, this 90-second teaser trailer, in the space of 24 hours alone. So the appetite is still there.
It is, and those are huge numbers,
Yeah.
aren't they? You can't argue with that. So it's going to bring in the books, it's going to serve that purpose, but I still artistically and creatively have to wonder, other than merchandising opportunities, other than the fact that it looks nice, kind of dramatically, artistically, there's not much merit in it.
I think
But then again, I've not seen the film yet. Who knows what they might do with it? Who knows how they might take elements? There are additional elements from the Broadway production that could make it into this. So it's not going to be a shot-for-shot remake, but still, if the Jungle Book's anything to go by, and Cinderella, then you know what? It might be able to stand on its own 4 legs.
I should hope so, because that's balance.
I win. I always win. Is there no one on this agenda to even challenge me?
You're listening to the Shires and Island Agenda.
Shires and Island, Shires and Island Agenda, more music variety, HWD, Hospital Radio, and on the Shires and Island Network on YouTube. And it was said early on, pretty much, that Julie Andrews would not be appearing in Mary Poppins Returns. Her justification being that she didn't want to take away from Emily Blunt because
She didn't want to steal the thunder.
yeah, it would be. She's in it, holding that umbrella, but it would be jarring, wouldn't it? It would take you out of the film. It hasn't stopped Dick Van Dyke.
I was about to say, Dick Van Dyke needs the money. Just like the exposure.
I'm sure he's living off those Diagnosis Murder reruns and repeats. But there it now seems that Julie Andrews might even try to take down her greatest creation. It's kind of Tony Stark versus Ultron, but instead it's Julie Andrews taking down Mary Poppins by being some kind of tentacled thing.
Yeah, we understand she's going to be voicing the character of the Karathan, which sounds ominously like Kraken to me, and is going to be appearing in Aquaman, which, I mean, if you're going to pick a role that's some way off Mary Poppins, a giant tentacle monster's kind of the way to go.
Yeah, and interesting, the creator's saying that we wanted a classic British actress to voice it, which just...
when I think of Kraken, I immediately think Dame Joan Plowman.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to eat me.
Plow right.
You're going to eat me, you're going to devour me, it's going to be really hideous, but the monologue that comes before it will be absolutely beautiful.
And the diction will be wonderful.
Absolutely enunciated perfectly before the huge jaws crunch my bones.
So yes, it was Peter Safran, the producer of Aquaman, that said that he wanted the Karathan to have the voice of, as Tom put it, a classic British actress. Who knew that Aquaman would have the real Mary Poppins this Christmas? Do you think part of it is simply we want to make as big an impact as possible, and this is going to get it on 2 fronts? You wouldn't think Julie Andrews would do this, and 2, it's coming out at the same time as Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, she doesn't have to visit the set, does she? She's probably got a microphone in her house, just like we've got one in front of us now, not in our house. And I'm just curious to see what the character looks like, how the voice meshes with it. But it seems, going back to your kind of publicity point, that Aquaman doesn't need it. I mean, a lot of the early responses seem to be overwhelmingly positive.
We say that, although this Julie Andrews revelation was made a day before, so maybe people went into it with the positive buzz thinking we're going to hear the sound of Julie Andrews voicing a giant crab.
But yeah, shiny!
But yes,
Moana reference.
The reaction has been overwhelmingly positive to the film.
They call it fun. Somebody called it fun.
Did you think it looked like fun? Wasn't your idea of fun?
It looks like great fantasy, sci-fi, macho action type stuff, but that does not necessarily a fun or good film make. But they're saying actually it's kind of Marvel mould.
They're also saying that the visual, the actual look of the thing, presumably including the giant crab, is remarkable, and that it also sort of evokes even the early Star Wars films, in that it's sort of taking some...
What, I mean, Phantom Menace? There is a very much... Tick de Bong or whatever it is.
Yes, there is.
The planet core.
But the argument's been the last couple of Star Wars films have looked a bit samey, and at least the original ones and the prequels, it could be argued, took some risks, and this one looks like it's taking risks in the visuals. It's selling.
Absolutely. So the Snyderverse has gone by the wayside. Grit and darkness replaced by...
sugar and spoonful of sugar.
When you have to agenda, don't talk. You're listening to the Shires and Island Agenda.
That is, of course, the sound of West Side Story, just as Leonard Bernstein imagined it.
Will Johnny Williams be back? Probably not, I would have thought. Could you imagine a John Williams orchestrated... John Williams does Bernstein?
It would be something to listen to, wouldn't it?
I'm not sure if he's winding down, though.
Okay.
Williams, that is. Bernstein, well and truly.
From one actress who isn't returning to her past glories to one who most definitely is, and we mentioned it on a couple of shows back, Steven Spielberg's forthcoming remake of West Side Story. Well, Rita Moreno, who played the character of Anita in the original movie from, was it 63-ish, I want to say, is going to be coming back for the remake, playing the part of...
Doc.
Is it Doc?
Doc owns the local store, and it's kind of a store come soda bar type thing.
Okay.
And he's basically the guy that's seen it all, in this case, the girl that's seen it all, who tries to talk the lads out of having the rumble, effectively the fight that then leads to, spoiler alert, a death at the end of the first act, when it's done on stage. And he even strikes Tony at one point.
Does he?
I know, because I got to stand in for the role when we were doing it at school, and I told the lad who was playing Tony that I'm legitimately going to hit you.
You just didn't like him?
Well, no, he was a great lad, but the rehearsal...
But he had one of those faces.
The rehearsal was in a bit of a dip.
You wanted to get... I want to get the levels up. And there's nothing that gets the levels up like blood rushing to your face.
Energy-wise, the rehearsal was dead, so I said, I'm not going to hit you hard, but if I actually physically make contact with you, is that a problem? He said, it's not a problem. And the director said, you know what, we needed that.
What did the judge say afterwards?
On the judge's scorecards, unanimous in favour of Shires.
So, if you had to give Rita Moreno advice for how to play the part, how would you get her to do it?
You've got to be kind of weathered and seasoned. You've got to be that kind of oracle sage type who knows the mistakes before they're going to be made and does their very best to enable those youngsters from not making them.
And has got a sandpaper-like hand.
Absolutely.
Well, she was originally, as I say, playing the role of Anita.
Who I think was... There's the leader of the Puerto Rican Girls,
yes.
and I believe she's the leader of that. So I seem to think that she was quite central in The Number America.
I haven't seen West Side Story, but for some reason I'm immediately thinking Rizzo in Greece. Is it that sort of a role?
Yeah,
okay.
A kind of bolshy, powerful, strong woman.
Well, she said when it was confirmed that she was going to be having a part in the remake, never in my wildest dreams did I see myself revisiting this seminal work. And to be asked by Steven Spielberg to participate is simply thrilling. To work together with the new playwright, Tony Kushner, what a glorious stew. I am tingling. But earlier on in the year, when she was asked if she would make a cameo in the Spielberg adaptation, she said, that would be strange. I think it would be distracting. No. I don't belong there in any capacity. She also expressed doubts about Tony Kushner, the screenwriter, saying, Tony Kushner, I get nervous because you can only just get so gritty.
I guess now the money's right, isn't it?
Most definitely. Are we saying this is what Mary Poppins Returns should have done for Julie Andrews?
Yes.
Allegedly.
Your Honour. Welcome back. You've been 3 blind mice all night, Mike. Are you ready for the final round?
God bless you.
For tonight's grand prize, your own Greek island. Your category is Absolute Opposites. To celebrate the home video release, if they even call it that anymore, of Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, I'll give you ABBA song titles that are opposites of their true selves. All you have to do is give me the real titles. There are bonus points for your best Pierce Brosnan impression, and this round may contain spoilers. The quiz ends when I can no longer resist ya. Are you ready to begin? Aha! Begin. No emergency.
Yes. Safety.
Well, don't be too literal. But if there's no emergency, there's no need for a...
SOS.
Indeed. Stationary peasant.
A standing villain. Stationary peasant. Stop. Still.
Well, no, if you're stationary, what's the opposite of being stationary?
Moving. Moving.
Moving or...
Running. Or dancing. Dancing, I'm only dancing. Dancing in the... Dancing Queen.
Dancing Queen.
Opposites. I get it.
Yes. Drought pit.
Money.
Drought.
It's raining money.
No, if there's
It's raining
drought...
men.
If there's drought, there's no...
Cash. Weather. Water. Waterloo.
Yes. Is your dad aware?
I don't know. He didn't want to bring me tonight. Does your mother know?
Unlikely. Donate, donate, donate.
Gimme.
A Man After Midnight?
Yes.
No, we don't do Christmas. Awful light sauce.
Bad.
Awful, no, opposite of awful.
Good. I'm so ill. Good.
Better than good.
Super Trooper.
Super Trooper. Ungrateful for silence.
Ungrateful for silence. Thank you for the music.
You're welcome. Let's not do this.
Here we go again.
Let's not do this.
Let's not do this. Stop. Let's do this. So let's us.
Ne fais pas cela.
Je ne regrette rien.
No. Let's not do this. Imagine a question
Yes.
in a language that sounds like ne fais pas cela.
Voulez-vous?
Voulez-vous? No. Unaware of both.
Unaware of both. So I know it all. Knowing me, knowing you.
Aha. I'm risk averse when it comes to you.
I'm risk averse. Foolish. Something to do. Foolish. Reckless.
Risk if you
Risk. Chance. Take a chance on me.
already have. Hang his hate over someone else.
Lay my love on you. Is it?
Oh, if I must, yeah. Lay all your love
Lay
on
all your
me.
love on me.
I do not possess a nightmare.
I have a dream.
What is it?
A song to sing.
To help me through.
With everything.
With
I
everything.
remember the Westlife version.
Ah. Firmly in your grip. This is one for the big fans.
Firmly in your grip.
If something's
Let me go or something like that. Just slipping through my fingers.
slipping through my fingers. The unknown work.
The known laziness. The known leisure.
If something's unknown, what doesn't it have?
Recognition.
Or
Award. Sort of
opposite of work.
play.
Or, yeah, another word for
Game.
play. Yes.
Game, something to do with game. Oh, it's my name of the game.
The unknown work is the
Very good, I
name
like
of the
it.
game. And finally, a loser leaves everything.
Everyone's a winner, baby.
No. Wrong band, but still a good song.
The winner takes it all.
He does, Mike Island. Yes, he does.
I'm so ill.
It's round, it's purple, it shows you what to view. It's Mike's Big W.
Mrs. Shires will have been singing along in the kitchen because she loves the theme tune to this particular bit.
Okay.
It's preview film of the week. I'm going to be gentle with it because normally I do that to throw you off. That's mean. You're unwell. Please proceed.
Thank you, Thomas Shires. Okay then, so this is when we go to the...
Preview film of the week. Ha ha!
He's genuinely not a nice man. This is when we go through the films that are on over the course of the next 7-ish days and pick out the ones that really stand out that you should pay some attention to. We're going to start off with the film that led into Mission Impossible Fallout, which I think we were mentioning that Mamma Mia, here we go again. Mamma Mia, here we go again, is now out on or coming soon in terms of general
It came out Monday.
home release. Will it be the same case for Mission Impossible Fallout? Because that was around the same time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's probably due before Christmas.
Okay, it follows up directly Mission Impossible Fallout from Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, which is being
Great baddie. Great villain, as my dad would say. Great villain.
being screened on Saturday night on Channel 4
Channel 4.
at 9 p.m. It's not a
9.
It's not a premiere, but it is one of the first times it has been on terrestrial television, and it is well worth a look because, as I say, unusually for the Mission Impossible series, the events of that film lead directly into the second film in the series. Also on Saturday night at 10 to 11 on ITV.
Channel 3.
It's Steven Spielberg, of course, future director of West Side Story, the remake, and his seminal work, Jaws.
It is a great film, and I'm surprised what it gets away with for its certificate. And how much there isn't a shark in it. I know we've told the story so many times, haven't we, but the fact that the shark didn't work,
Yeah.
so the two nuts became the shark.
And I was
so effective.
I was reading something from Richard Dreyfuss earlier on this year where he says that they should go back and do a director's cut where they use CGI to put more shark in. Do you honestly
Small
think...
Shark. Baby Shark? Are you aware of Baby Shark?
I've heard of Baby Shark, yeah.
Is it a big hit? Or is it too scary?
Last year it was.
These
not
children
so
don't
much
like
this year.
caterpillars, I'm told, so...
Okay. But no, do you think that will be sacrilege?
Well, no, because it's like this with any special edition, people who point the finger at the likes of Star Wars. If you don't like those films, you've always got the originals, so you don't have to buy it. So don't be outraged that, they've taken my best film, they've ruined it. Well, just don't put your money into it.
Okay.
And get on with your life.
Moving on from Jaws, we're going to Saturday on ITV4.
Oh, we have this one every week. ITV4 is channel number... this does have a 4 in it, doesn't it? 14.
24.
Oh!
You're getting better, though, I will say you're getting better. And your logic is sound. When you think of great Joel Schumacher films, what do you think of?
I think of, it's twofold. Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Failing that, Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
Batman Forever?
I'm going to suggest Falling Down. Not in shock.
Okay.
Not in shock.
Slightly different film.
But yes, very different film. I also quite like Phone Booth. But Falling Down stars Michael Douglas as a defence contractor, or former defence contractor, who's taken an office job and is stuck in LA during a heat wave. His car breaks down in the midst of this traffic jam, and he decides to walk, and it's all these strange encounters that he gets on as he goes through the city, losing his temper.
Just one bad day, that's all it takes.
It really
Just
is,
one bad day.
Joel Schumacher knew how to make a good Two-Face film, but unfortunately was unable to do it in the main Batman series. So yes, that's 11 on ITV4 on Saturday night. Hail Caesar.
Do I have to salute? What do I do?
You really don't. The Coen brothers brought Hail Caesar to the cinemas a couple of years ago, and it's a sort of typically Coen brothers, typically out there, satirical take on Hollywood in the 1950s. And Eddie Mannix, do you remember the character played by Bob Hoskins in Hollywoodland?
Vaguely, it's been a long time.
The chief executive of a movie studio, and a real character in Hollywood history, is the central character in this, in a fictionalised version of Hollywood dealing with fictional stars. And he's played here by Thanos.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't know whether...
Does he have the stones on at this point?
Not at this point, no. He's having to get by without his giant gold gauntlet. On Channel 4 on Saturday at 25 to...
Channel
midnight.
4? 25 to what, sorry?
25 to midnight.
11:35. Sorry, I have to do the maths.
He does the maths in his head for your benefit, everybody. Moving on to Sunday.
Sunday.
I'm going to pick out a film where I'm raising this film now because I don't want to have to raise it again before.
Is it something Christmassy?
It's something Christmassy.
Okay.
And it's basically, I'm raising it to object to the fact that it's on. Santa Claus the movie should only be shown on the 23rd or the 24th of December, ideally at about 3:30 in an afternoon.
Should that be the law?
That should be the law. I would say it has to be on the BBC as well. It has to be on a channel that doesn't have adverts in it, because I think that kind of undermines the point of Santa Claus the movie. But in their infinite wisdom, ITV have, over the past 5 or 6 years that they've had the rights, been showing it multiple times. I think they showed it on Boxing Day one year, which blew my mind. But this year they decided they're going to put it on Sunday, so December the 2nd on ITV3.
All right.
To ITV3 very often.
So if ITV4 is 24, are they going to be anywhere near each other?
It's ITV.
It's ITV?
No, I'm saying bear that in mind when you're thinking about whether they will put them anywhere near each other.
Okay. I'm going to go for it. 23.
10.
ITV, what are you doing?
It's on at 10 to 1 on Sunday on ITV.
12:50.
So, yeah, did you feel dirty when I say that?
For free?
No, it shouldn't be on this early, should it?
No,
I don't mind Channel 5 and True Christmas and the like putting American made-for-TV films on from November or whatever they want, but Santa Claus the movie?
No, for me, it's a special film that deserves better
than ITV3. Okay, so our Freeview film of the week on Sunday at 11 a.m.
11?
It's Local Hero on Film 4.
Oh, you like a bit of the score, don't you?
I do love the Martin Knopfler score. So Film 4 is channel number?
Film 4 is channel number 12.
15. It's Bill Forsyth, of course, the director who had directed John Gordon Sinclair and Gregory's Girl a couple of years before. That was the one that really made his name, made his mark. And he came back with Local Hero, which is a sort of fable all about an American lawyer for an oil company who want to take over a Scottish village, knock it all down and set up a refinery there. And he has to convince the villagers that they have to sell up. Now, I'm going to spoil it ever so slightly in the sense that you don't find this out straight away, but you do find it out at the end of the first scene in the village. The villagers are actually fine about selling up. They're just putting up as many hurdles as they can to drive a high bargain. Yeah. So it ends up being a story about how the lawyer that has been sent out from, I think it's Houston, ends up falling in love with the town and whether or not he'll be able to go through with buying the village. Great film on Sunday, 11 a.m, Film 4.
See, I'm aware of Bebop and Rocksteady, the rhino and kind of warthog thing from Ninja Turtles.
They're not getting a Hulu series.
They should have their own series. They'd be quite good. I'm aware of Cowboy Bebop, but that's
Lula.
it. As a brand, I know what it is.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm lost. Help me.
It's an anime series produced in.
Is it like Robot Chicken?
No, I don't think it's quite so self-aware as that. But it is a series that was actually introduced to US audiences and to worldwide audiences, really, through featuring in shows like Robot Chicken, who sort of pointed out that it may look bizarre to Western eyes, but it is actually a very high concept but enthralling Japanese anime drama, which is all about a group of space bounty hunters who are hired to save the world, but it will only take part if they are paid sufficient amounts of money.
So is Cowboy Bebop a person or a group? What's the deal?
I've got no idea. I think it's a nonsensical Japanese title. But,
so
but the show is inspired by Westerns, so maybe that is kind of...
It's kind of Magnificent Seven type idea.
Yeah, and bebop, because there's also a strong element of jazz music.
Okay.
For some reason. And
Space jazz, it's a thing, we know.
The reason we're talking about it is because Netflix have acquired the rights not just to show the series, but to make a live-action version of this highly acclaimed
they make
series.
everything these days. We might as well be planning Netflix.
Do you think that's the way we're going?
I think so.
Okay, but one, is this the sort of thing that would get you interested in getting a Netflix subscription? Two, is it something that would worry you given the whole Ghost in the Shell farrago that went on earlier on in the year about Scarlett Johansson being cast in a Caucasian take
whitewashing, effectively.
Yes, that was the term that was used, of a Japanese, seminal sort of Japanese work. And is there anything necessarily wrong with that in the sense that don't most cultures take... the whole cultural appropriation idea is based on the idea that you're taking someone else's culture and using it for your own creative venture and not necessarily acknowledging the past. Well, if you are acknowledging the past, is there anything wrong with retelling someone else's stories?
I don't think there necessarily is. Firstly, already got a Netflix subscription, so they don't have to steal money from me. I think you could point the finger at so many great successes in cinema over the past generation or so. For example, Star Wars and the idea of Jedi, isn't that just kind of monks and mysticism? Hasn't that all been kind of appropriated? But to repackage it for a different culture and a different audience, I don't necessarily believe is a bad thing, if indeed you just simply acknowledge the source material in the first place. And don't try and pass it off as your own idea, but at the same time, there's no harm in borrowing, I don't think, as long as you're not trying to erase that being part of someone else's culture.
And also, I think I'm right in saying that the likes of Shinichiro Watanabe, who was with the main driving force behind the original series, is going to be involved as a sort of co-showrunner, or at least heavily involved as a consultant. So does that sort of give it some mark of approval as well? Because
in the same way that maybe Gervais and Merchant were executive producers on The Office, and were obviously heavily involved in the process there.
Let's put that to one side. What about anime generally? Is it something that
Strange stuff.
you find it
visually amazing?
Because I have heard it's posited that if you watch a lot of, say, Nickelodeon, or what used to be Nickelodeon, cartoons these days, mainly American cartoons that are aimed at kids, they have a lot more sort of anime influence than anything that we grew up watching. And it is kind of a generational thing that perhaps because animators of our generation, slightly older, got into anime, it is now filtered through. So that sort of style of animation isn't off-putting for people, say, 10 years younger than us.
No, it's definitely filtered through into what is, you might consider the norm now of animation. But of the anime I've seen, and I've seen maybe a handful of feature-length anime films, it always tends to be that someone tends to be an old lady or a kind of scientist type, always turns into some large tentacled beast.
Julie Andrews.
This agenda is impressive. Most impressive. You're listening to the Shires and Ireland Agenda.
You've just got to have a monster. That's what it is. It's nonsensical in the story, but these people always turn into these huge beasts, and then there's a big fight.
Julie Andrews. Are we talking Roald Dahl now?
Let's
talk Roald Dahl, and let's stay with Netflix because a Roald Dahl story universe is on its way.
Shared universe?
That's what it sounds like, yeah. Was this inevitable?
I think so, and I'm excited about the potential quality of the products that they're going to put out. So they've already name-checked the likes of... The big one's out first, though, I know they said definitely Charlie Chocolate Factory is on the agenda, but it was...
Wait, is it? Are we putting it on our show?
Oh, maybe, but I'm sure, was it Matilda and the Twits? Are the first two that are on?
I think that's what they're talking about, yeah. Although it is interesting, actually, that they haven't got the rights to all of them. Anyways, go back to the headline, as it were. They're creating a Roald Dahl story universe. Netflix, bring a slate of new animated versions. Is that the right way to go as well, by the way? Go animated rather than live action. And it'd be interesting to see whether they take the kind of Quentin Blake look and create that as, I'm assuming 3D CGI. Yes, so yeah. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and the Twits are among the animated event series, as they're calling it, but it's going to be primarily focused initially on Matilda and the BFG, because...
Oh, BFG, yeah.
BFG, huge success for Steven Spielberg.
Just huge anywhere, really.
Very much so, yeah. The Giant have said that the programmes would remain faithful to the quintessential spirit and tone of Dahl, but would extend beyond the yarns about magical chocolate factories and friendly giants that have already been told. Now, does that mean completely new BFG stories, or is that simply referring to the fact that they're going to integrate them in some way? Yeah, or maybe just reach out to other parts of the Dahl canon, if you will. But if they get round to Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, I'm happy. I'll buy 2 subscriptions. I'll be that happy. Okay. I have to say, George's Marvellous Medicine was always my favourite. But I wonder whether that was because I watched Jackanory and Rick Mail memorably read that one in a sort of anarchic manner, as you would expect from Rick Mail. So whether you can actually do that these days?
What, read books?
Not reading it, but the actual story itself. Is that one of the ones that's not subversive, but just most dangerous?
It is a weird tale, and there's not a lot to it, is there really?
No.
So it'd be interesting to see how they flesh that one out. Just as a complete aside, have you used your Netflix gift card? I haven't yet. I'm waiting for a time when I don't have as much to watch on ordinary television. But I'm looking forward to making my use of it, because Netflix themselves even recommend signing up for a month free and then using a gift card. So, I'm taking every opportunity that comes. Also, haven't got the rights to Fantastic Mr. Fox, haven't got the rights to The Witches. Oh, there's new one of that coming, isn't there?
A new version of The Witches is on its way, yes. So, I don't know, maybe it's simply the case that they've already lost the rights to those. So
you can always watch the Wes Anderson one if you want. I mean, don't, it's awful, but it is out there.
The truth, along with Fantastic Mr. Fox, is out there.
It is a mash.
It is a movie mash.
A movie mash.
A movie mash.
It is a mash.
It is a movie mash.
A movie mash.
pushed beyond his limits during a mission gone wrong, broken super spy James Bond, Daniel Craig, treks across London and the United Kingdom as he makes his way towards his childhood home to celebrate a half-remembered birthday party, only for former agent Raoul Silva, Javier Bardem, to provoke him into an increasing spiral of violence and black humour, all while aging police officer Martin Prendergast, Robert Duvall, a sergeant on the day of his retirement, attempts to track him down.
So it's Skyfall.
Yep.
Robert Duvall as a policeman. Fall, Sky. This is a really famous film.
Someone who is tracking his way across somewhere. And remember, it's broken super spy James Bond.
Broken,
yeah.
Fall.
And his increasing spiral of violence.
It's not falling down again, is it? It's not Sky falling down.
Sky falling down, yeah. Do you like it?
I like it a lot.
Did you like the meta nature of that one? Okay. Moving on to another of our movie mashups. An inherited lupine curse causes a high school student trouble aplenty until he puts his enhanced aggression and cunning to use as a stockbroker in the 1980s New York City to all manner of corrupt and devious ends. Starring Michael J. Fox, Jonah Hill, and Margot Robbie. Rated R, containing extreme sexual content, drug use, profanity, and excessive fur.
Teen Wolf of Wall Street.
Teen Wolf of Wall Street.
You set them up, I'll lock them down.
Okay, let's move on to another one. When the most famous mop-top band in the world are taken hostage in an under-construction LA skyscraper on Christmas Eve, only one clean vest-wearing cop can save the fabulous foursome in time for their televised show. Shoot the Glass Onion.
Yippee-ki-yay, it's Die Hard Day's Night.
It is. I will round off with... All weddings are complicated affairs, but for George Pretorius, Steve Martin, his daughter's wedding comes with an added challenge, his monstrous son-in-law-to-be. Laugh and cry with hysterics at the antics of George and wedding planner Frank, Martin Short, as they come to the aid of their inadvertently murderous giant reanimated frenemy, Karloff, in time for a ceremony that is sure to be mobbed.
Father of the Bride of Frankenstein?
It is, congratulations.
Thank you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Push his buttons and turn him on. Send from the future to beat the motor. 900 channels watch paint on the wall. He's the hero who'll save us all. Goggletron, Goggletron, put it on, it's called a Goggletron. Goggletron.
He wants to suck your blood. From one monster to another, Mike Island.
He bangs. Danish actor Claes Bang has been cast as Dracula in the BBC's new take on Bram Stoker's classic novel. Classic. My cold is making me Connery-esque.
He moves.
Oh, baby, when he moves, he moves. The BBC One miniseries, of course, written and created.
Looks like a flower but stings like a bee. Sorry, go on. Like every girl in history.
What's he up to these days?
He had his comeback sing with Mr. Know-It-All a few years back. He did it on the X Factor. Mr. Know-It-All. It was like a Justin Timberlake style funky number. He's just hanging out now.
Like Dracula. Okay,
I'll be hanging up if anything.
It's overseen by Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss, the duo behind, of course, Sherlock. And Bang declared, I'm so excited that I get to dig into this iconic and super interesting
He didn't
character.
say sink my teeth into that. I respect that, because that's too easy upon.
Yes, he's evil, but there's also so much more to him. He's charismatic, intelligent, witty and sexy. I realise that there's a lot to live up to with all the amazing people that have played him over the years, Leslie Nielsen in particular. But I feel
He did say that.
But I feel so privileged to be taking on this incredible character. Was that the way to go? Go for somebody that is, to be fair, little known. He's currently seen...
But acclaimed, though, isn't he?
He's opposite Claire Foy in The Girl in the Spider's Web, not so much acclaimed. But he's also been in, The Square, which won the Palme d'Or last year over at Cannes. So, yeah, he's an acclaimed actor who has got some experience behind him at the age of 51. But it would make more sense to do that than to go for I don't know, Benedict Cumberbatch.
I think so. This is the only casting announcement so far
Thus far, yeah.
for a series that we say is going to be on BBC here in the UK, Netflix worldwide for those. BBC America, maybe the States, or the Netflix in it there too?
I'd guess that Netflix would drive quite a hard bargain and probably say they want it in the States. It's kicking off next year filming, so probably not until 2020 that we actually see it.
Period piece, did we say?
Yes, it's definitely going to be a period piece, which again I think is probably the way to go, because it's a long time since we had a really acclaimed period version of Dracula.
Yeah, just part of me would love to see Sherlock try and track him down.
Well, do you like crossovers? Hulock is something that a lot of fans online went crazy for.
Hulock?
Doctor Who meets Sherlock, because of course it was the same people behind, behind the scenes at the time.
I just think that there could be something in that. How they do it, just do it as a one-off or whatever. I just think it could be very entertaining.
Have you got a favourite on-screen Dracula thus far?
Favourite on-screen Dracula?
Count Duckula?
Count Duckula's cool. I have to give you that. It'd probably have to be Adam Sandler.
When does he play Dracula?
Hotel Transylvania.
Oh yeah, he does, obviously. Yeah, because
I am joking, by the way, but I just to see your face, it was worth it.
I genuinely
Christopher Lee, obviously.
Is he your favourite? I didn't know you'd seen any Christopher Lee.
I think I've seen one.
Okay, and he was that.
Because that's the only one I've
that
seen.
Memorable.
Makes him my favourite.
Gary Oldman, I suppose, would have to be
obvious choice.
Well, yeah, because it's the only Dracula film I've actually seen. I've seen certain television versions.
You haven't seen The Batman vs Dracula feature-length animated special?
Who voices Dracula in that one? You're going to tell me it's all from the OC, aren't you?
Don't know.
Dracula coming to screens, we assume, in 2020. Although whether you'll be able to see him, because reflection, we'll have to wait and see on that. Here they are, the agenda.
You're listening to the Shires and Island Agenda.
So you hinted at it, or I say hinted at it, you hit it with a sledgehammer earlier. Talking about, how you feel about Christmas, how you feel about the treatment of certain films being shown before the big day. How do you stand on Christmas music? Because we got a text message, as it happens, as a station.
Do we encourage text messages to the agenda, given that we record it about 3 days before it goes out?
I received a text message, so it's not to the show.
A personal text message?
Well...
You usually say to me, read it out, would you?
No, I haven't received it now.
Okay.
I just said, historically, we received one in the past few days, talking about Freeview Film of the Week. This station's, when I say this station's, HWD Hospital Radio stands on the playing of Christmas music, when Christmas music begins, when that period ends, and so on. And it seems that Magic couldn't care less. They're doing their own thing.
They really couldn't, because where did Magic sit in terms of rankings of radio stations in this country?
Well, I don't know,
is that top 5?
They were formerly Magic 8 to 8, weren't they? Was it? Is that an AM or a medium wave station? Or was it an FM?
I think it's medium, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's medium. Yeah. So they're not one of the big guns, so maybe that's what allows them to do what they're doing.
Yes, from Friday the 1st of... from Friday the 30th... I can never remember how many days... You've done this before. What's the thing you do with your knuckles to remember how...
All right, so if you look at your left hand, your first knuckle is January.
Yeah.
Middle space is February. So if it's a knuckle, it's 31 days. If it's a space... it's something else.
30 days. So on the 30th of November...
which could be tomorrow, might be next week. Who knows when this was recorded?
Magic and their number one breakfast DJ, Ronan Keating, which was news to me, is going to be playing Christmas songs. And they're going to be playing Christmas songs all the time, which, to me, a little bit excessive. But
can you have too much of a good thing, Mike Ireland?
I think you most definitely can. How long is this show going? Previously, Magic Christmas was offered in addition to the main station, but this year it's going to be replaced by Christmas music 24/7. And station owner Bauer said listeners could expect a selection of much-loved Christmas pop from the last 50 years. And the aforementioned Keating enthused, "I can't wait to kick Christmas off," or kicked Christmas off. Now, I don't like it.
Is that just because you're old and miserable and twisted?
Oh no, I was this miserable years ago. I haven't just... It takes years of effort to get this miserable. I have a policy at home that don't watch Christmas adverts until after the 11th of December.
11th?
11th, yeah. I've got an issue with...
Why the 11th?
Advent calendar. Because then there's a fortnight until Christmas, and I think that's
okay.
enough. I don't blame the advertisers for advertising. Everyone's got to make a quick buck. I don't blame True Christmas either because, they need the support. But I just think starting Christmas in October or early November is a bit too far. So the idea of a main station playing 24/7 Christmas music from the start of December, nay, from the end of November, seems beyond the pale.
When do you trim up? You leave it late still?
Leave it late, usually about the 20th.
Do you open presents on Christmas Eve?
No, we usually open presents Christmas Day, but about early evening.
How can you wait?
I have a big lunch.
I just want to say one thing to my wife who's home. Your agenda, we did it!
You're listening to the Shires and Island Agenda.
Psst. Robert De Niro's waiting.
What's he talking?
Well, he's not talking, he's wanting Italian.
He's wanting Italian because Robert De Niro swapped Hollywood for Halifax.
You're talking to me?
Although I actually think he lives in New York, so he didn't really swap Hollywood for Halifax. Dining at an Italian restaurant. Do we want to give the advertising?
I think we should.
Ricci's place, is that what we're saying? Ricci.
It'd be Ricci's, yeah.
In Halifax, as I say. So he was there because he was going to the Royal Armouries, which I don't want to.
It's free, isn't it?
I
Cheapskate.
don't like to give Tom Shires too much credit.
What did I say? What did I say the other week?
But last week, when we were talking about the fact that The Rock had turned up at a gym in Doncaster, and I was suggesting he should take Robert Downey Jr. to Bagshaw Museum, or that he should show Jennifer Lawrence round Cronest Park, you said you would go to the Royal Armouries with a celebrity. You didn't actually say which celebrity, did you?
No, I don't think I did. And also during that link, not that we spent too much time saying things we got wrong, you referred to a kind of stone ram being at Cannon Hall Farm. Were you referring to Oakwell Hall?
I was referring to Oakwell Hall.
You were. Listen back, I thought, ooh.
That's not the sound a ram makes. Okay. So yeah, Robert De Niro was going to the Royal Armouries to be interviewed
Joust?
about his life. Yeah, that would be fun. About his life. I mean, he's just that big a star. Interviewed about his life.
Would you take him on? If someone said we've got Robert De Niro on a horse, you want to joust him? Would you have a go?
Am I properly?
You kitted up, yeah.
Kitted up, because I do think you do need a visor inside your visor. You do actually need perspex because balsa wood can get in your eyes. Yeah, probably would. Olivia Ricci, the owner of said restaurant, said they didn't get too starstruck because they didn't want to offend Robert De Niro. In fact, they weren't even told quite who it was going to be, the staff, until he arrived, which is probably the way to go. In terms of what he had to eat, well...
Data protection, surely. That was the release, what he had.
It featured an Italian charcuterie, artisan cheeses and bruschetta to start, but he had a fillet of dry-aged beef, braised short rib rather than venison, and the dessert was a trio of New York cheesecake, Amalfi lemon tart, and tiramisu.
He lives in New York.
Yeah, so
he goes on holiday.
We're going to give it to New York cheesecake.
And he has...
That's like going to the Red Lion in Benidorm or something like that, isn't it?
Found this place. You're going to love it. Thanks, Peter.
What would you have given him? If let's say you were the head chef or the sous chef.
I'd have given him a piece of my mind.
No, what would you have given him as a traditional Yorkshire meal then? Because that was presumably why he came. He thought, I can go to the Royal Armouries, I can get some cash for my members, but really I want to appreciate the food of Yorkshire.
The puds. What would you do? Would it be like farm produce? It'd just be a Sunday roast, but with local gear, wouldn't it?
Okay.
What do we have? What are our delicacies?
Is parking a Yorkshire thing? I immediately went to parking.
Maybe, but that's November. That's well gone.
Parking works all year round, I would have thought.
No. Seasonal.
Seasonal.
If you're eating parking in December, you've got a problem.
Bobby.
So I've been Tom Shires.
I've been Mike Island.
And we'll speak to you next week.
No, I was going to say, which celebrity do you think is going to turn up in Yorkshire next?
Take care.
Take care.